This is another reading of Lord Mayhare, page 3401, the bottom. I'll just repeat the last paragraph we read last week. Baba wished to offer prayers at midnight, and they drove to Kalyar, near Roorkee, where he could offer prayers at the shrine of the perfect master Sabir. Baba urged Helan to drive faster and faster so that he would be sure to reach Kalyar on time. When they reached Sabir's tomb, Baidul went to the caretaker to request that he open it. The man flatly refused, and Baba had to make do with offering prayers near a marble trellis, through which Sabir's grave was visible. Baba instructed all the men accompanying him to circumambulate Sabir's dargah 101 times. A young boy who happened to be watching was so touched, he began reading from a holy book and began to shed tears with each line he read. Returning to Haridwar again, Baba contacted a must in the early hours of the morning. After completing his work, Baba and the men returned to Dehradun. They arrived on the morning of 15 September 1953, and Baba expressed that he was quite pleased with the entire journey and his must contacts. He told Mani to write to Adi Sr. about the trip. She wrote on the 17th, Baba has returned from his must trip within 4 days. He worked relentlessly, traveling night and day, without sleep and little food. The last stretch was a 60-hour drive, stopping on the way only for extreme necessities. Baba and the Mandali returned completely fagged out and exhausted. But Baba contacted some excellent musts and said his work was very well done, which is, of course, the main thing. Adjoining Baba's bungalow in Dehradun was a garden of guava trees. 4 watchmen had been hired to shoo away the birds at night. The men would shriek and shout, and Baba would complain about the noise, stating that he was much disturbed. One day, Baba directed Kumar to tell the watchmen not to make so much noise at night. Kumar did as instructed, but they laughed derisively and said, "What you say is true, but if we don't do it, the birds will eat all the fruit, and who will make up for the loss? Our boss would fire us, and we would be out of work." Returning, Kumar informed Baba, who sent him back with the message that they should be less noisy while frightening away the birds. Kumar went and told them. The next day, Baba complained that the noise that night had been worse than before. Kumar was exasperated by Baba's complaining. Baba, nevertheless, sent him to the owner of the garden, who got very upset with him for wasting his time. "If I don't tell my servants to make an uproar," the man said, "they will go to sleep and the birds would ruin my garden. But I cannot understand how you could be disturbed by their shouts. It is not possible for their noise to be heard in your bungalow." When Baba was informed, he asked Kumar, "What is the remedy for this?" Half joking, Kumar said, "There is no other remedy than to buy the garden and let the birds eat all the fruit. A wonderful idea, replied Baba enthusiastically. Go and find out its price. Kumar once again approached the owner, who became even more infuriated. Have you any sense? Is this the time to sell a garden when it is full of fruit? Anyway, the fruit has already been sold to a contractor who is gradually taking away the produce. When Baba was informed, he sent Kumar back with this message. Tell the contractor not to take the produce gradually, but to collect it all at once. Kumar returned. The owner dismissed Kumar with an angry wave of his hand, shouting at him to leave at once. When Baba was told, he still complained. Somehow this racket must be stopped. I cannot sleep, and it is affecting my health, my mood, and my work. Something must be done. After a few minutes, Baba said, all of the watchmen do not make such a loud noise. It is one boy among them who is the loudest. If you bring him here and put him to work here, the problem will be solved. Kumar left to identify the young culprit. He found him, but the boy was not convinced to give up his job. Kumar tempted him with a higher salary, but still he refused. Despite this, Kumar persisted, and at last the boy was prevailed upon and brought to Baba, who was pleased to see him. The 18-year-old lad was Nepalese and did not know Hindi very well. Baba asked him his salary, and with a very funny accent, he replied, Pauchisa rupia, instead of Pachisa rupia, meaning rupees 25. Baba enjoyed his way of speaking Hindi and assured him, you will get rupees 50 working here, plus food and clothing. Besides this, you will be educated. The boy was overcome with joy, and Bao was given the duty of teaching him. He was provided with cotton and woolen clothing, and all his comforts were seen to. But he now began behaving like a boss, with Bao as his servant. Bao's duty included making his bed, bringing his food, cleaning his dishes, and generally seeing that he was happy. Although the nightly ruckus in the garden continued, Baba now expressed no signs that he was disturbed. He loved the Nepalese boy, and his stay pleased Baba. From the day the boy moved in, Baba disregarded the noise. The boy stayed in Bao's room and tried to learn what he was taught, but his head would ache with the least effort. As he would pronounce A he would pronounce as ah, and he learned virtually nothing, even after 2 months. Baba would call him daily and repeatedly ask, what wages were you getting there? And in his peculiar pronunciation, he would utter, Pauchisa rupia, which would delight Baba and make him laugh. The background of the Nepalese boy was that he was an only child and had, for some reason, run away from home. His parents were distraught at his disappearance and wept sorrowfully for him. They had tried to find him, but were unsuccessful. This was learned when a friend of the boys from Nepal came to visit him in Dehradun 2 months later. When Baba was told, he persuaded the boy to return home. Baba would daily lay his head on the lad's feet and embrace him, and only his love made the boy obey. The boy was given rupees 300 and left willingly. Had he not come to Baba, he would never have gone home. Thus, after a couple of months, the true reason for Baba's disturbance came to light. The Rani and Raja of Sahanpur were living in a bungalow near Baba's bungalow. The queen's name was Mohini Rani, and her husband was Charat Singh. One of their daughters, Pushplata, who was married to the Raja of Patiala, had died recently during childbirth. Overcome with grief, the Rani became like a madwoman, and had she not met Baba at this time, her condition would surely have worsened. The Rani found out about Meher Baba, and one evening in September 1953, she came to the Mandalis bungalow accompanied by her husband. Erich was sitting outside on the veranda with Baba, who asked her what she wanted. Mohini Rani replied, Baba, I have come to you in great misery. I have come with a request. Baba asked, What is it? What do you want from me? I cannot live without my daughter. I want my daughter back. I implore you to bring my daughter back alive. And she burst out weeping as she narrated her story. Baba comforted her with the words, Why do you cry? You will have your daughter back. Mohini Rani, in wonder, asked, The same daughter, Baba, in the same form? Yes, the same daughter, he promised. But her corpse has been cremated. Baba smiled, and his smile dissolved Mohini's agony. I am Paramatma, and nothing is impossible for me, he assured her. I have created the universe. Can I not make your daughter come alive? These words lifted the terrible burden from her heart, and her despondency was transformed into hope. She asked, Would you truly give me back my daughter? Baba assured her with a smile, Yes, I am telling you exactly that. Now stop worrying and have patience. Your daughter will come back to you. All you have to do is to remember me and love me. Remember me constantly and love me as much as you can, more and more each day. Will you do that? The Maharani agreed, and for the first time in a long, long while, she felt light at heart. The couple left. Erich had been interpreting Baba's words and was stunned, thinking, My God, what is Baba promising? It is not like him to declare such things. Erich said to Baba, You have assured her that her daughter will come back, But what will happen when she does not get her back? Baba replied, I have the remedy for every disease, and my treatment is infallible. At present, she needs this medicine until her illness subsides. She was happy, and you will see that her condition won't worsen. On the contrary, it will improve. Some days later, Mohini Rani informed Baba that she wished to sweep and clean his room herself. On Baba's agreeing, she did it. She then asked for some personal article of Baba's, and his sadra was given to her. As long as Baba was staying in Dehradun, Mohini Rani was happy and cheerful and inwardly leaned more and more on him. After Baba's departure, whenever she remembered her daughter, she would write to Baba, who would reply that she must be patient. Her daughter would definitely return to her, but meanwhile, she should go on remembering Baba more and more. Baba indicated that she would see her daughter in a dream, and this would be the sign of her imminent return. Later in 1954, Mohini Rani came to Ahmednagar with her husband for a darshan program, determined to ask Baba finally to bring her daughter back from the dead. But when in Baba's presence, she completely forgot about it. Some years later, when the couple came to Guru Prasad for Baba's darshan, Baba asked Mohini Rani, how are you? Baba, I am very happy, she answered. Baba looked radiant that day and suddenly stated, I am in the mood at this moment to give you whatever you ask. Tell me at once, do you want your daughter back or do you want me? The Rani gently placed her hand on Baba's knee and replied, I want you, Baba. Baba replied, now you have your daughter back. The whole world is in me, including your daughter. Baba gave Mohini Rani her daughter back by making Mohini totally forget her daughter. Because of her daughter's death, Mohini Rani came into Baba's close contact and became his forever. Her husband, Charak Singh, also held fast to Baba's feet, and their other daughter, Kusum, became ecstatic in Baba's love. Kusum's husband, Sardar Mohkam Singh, at first had no faith in Baba, but once when he was brought for darshan, he was so drawn to Baba that he arranged frequent bhajan, kirtan programs at their residence in New Delhi. About 50 of Mohini Rani's relatives, including her elder sister, Rama Devi of Mukimpur, and her family, came into Baba's contact and had the good fortune to be at his feet, all because of the tragic death of Pushp Lata. Thus, the daughter was brought to life in Meher Baba's love. Marvin, could you unmute and continue?
Another young woman, a close follower of Baba's, passed away at this time. A telegram from Adi Sr. in Ahmednagar was received informing Baba about the death of Erich's younger sister, Meheru Damania, on 28 September. at the age of 32 from pancreatic cancer. The last time Baba had seen her, he had remarked, "You have worked hard, but soon you will have rest." On her deathbed at Kushru quarters, Meru's final words were, "Tell Baba that my journey has come to an end. Salutations to him." Meru had helped cook during the Blue Bus travels. She and her husband, Savak, had been married in a double ceremony, along with Erich and his wife, and Baba had attended their wedding. After receiving the telegram about her passing, Baba sent Erich and others to see a movie. Erich appeared not in the least affected by the news. He was his usual self, as if nothing had happened. But Pendu felt sad and remembered how Meru had prepared and sent through the pimpal gown for him, Erich, Baidu, and Gustaji, during the Mononash seclusion period. Meru also kept everything at Meherzad immaculately clean during Baba's absence in the new life. After Meheru's demise, Baba sent a telegram to the Sata family in Ahmednagar saying that Meheru is now happy and asking them to send him Dakshina, an offering of rupees 5,000 for his work in Dehradun, which they promptly did. And a footnote, which I think you'll have to read, Gene.
Okay. After Meru Damania's death, her husband Savak moved to Bombay.
From Thursday, 1 October 1953, prayers were offered by the Mandali, Kirshan Singh, Kumar, Elcha, Helen, and Keki Nalavala at various sites in Dehradun, starting at midnight each night. The Hindus among them were sent to a temple to pray, the Muslims to a mosque, and the Christians, dawn, to a church. There being no fire temple in Dehradun, Keki would go to the Parsi cemetery to pray. Some of the Mandali prayed in Baba's presence while keeping the symbols of their religions before them. Baba took part in each prayer. Thereafter, he would go to the church, mosque, temple, and Gurudwara, temple of the Sikhs, where, as instructed, one of the Mandali would utter the prayer according to his religion at midnight. The ritual would last until 2 a.m. and continued for a full week. At this time, in addition, much correspondence was going back and forth with those lovers and devotees of Andhra and Hamapur about Baba's intended visit to those places. Keshab Nigam, Pukar, Gaya Prasad Kare were called to Dehradun to discuss the Hamapur programs. They arrived on the 20th and left 4 days later. Keshab was asked to translate the highest of the high message into Hindi. Baba heard his translation and ordered 5,000 copies of the message printed and distributed in the district. On 22nd October 1953, Baba remarked to Bao, "I am born today." And after embracing Bao first, he called and embraced each of the Mandali and distributed sweets. No one understood the meaning of Baba's statement until that evening when a telegram was received from Nagpur that Bao's wife Rama had given birth to a son. Baba himself named the boy Mehernath, Prince of Mercy, and revealed to Bao that he had been Jal Karawala in his previous life. After a month, Baba sent Bao to Nagpur for a brief visit to see his new son. According to Baba's instructions, his Eastern and Western lovers, men and women, young and old, kept awake on the night of Tuesday, 28 October 1953, and audibly repeated God's name according to their respective religions for 1 hour from midnight till 1 a.m. without a break. In Dehradun, Baba asked Keki Nalavala to do the repetition the whole night. He repeated, Ahura Mazda, Ahura Mazda, for a few hours, but then began uttering instead, Meher Baba, until 5 a.m. The next day, Baidul told Baba about it, but Keki defended himself, claiming that he himself had not been conscious of it, but that he had been staring at Baba's photograph during the repetition. He then asked for Baba's forgiveness. Don't worry, Baba told him. Meher Baba himself is Ahura Mazda. When the circular about keeping awake and repeating God's name was sent to Baba lovers in Nagpur and other places, Deshmukh over-enthusiastically declared that this was the night of God realization and that some would attain that divine state. The Mandali came to know of it and planned a practical joke to fool Deshmukh when he was to visit Dehradun on 30 October. A footnote.
Side note says Meherji arrived at this time also and stayed for a week.
Deshmukh arrived that morning, and according to the men's plan, Bao approached him at the gate and drew him aside. Dr. Saheb, he said, something has happened. All of the Mandali have become like musts from the night of the 28th. Only I, unfortunately, have escaped that state. It is my bad luck. Nothing has happened to me. Listening with keen eagerness, Deshmukh's eyes widened, and he inquired, what has happened? Bao replied very seriously, all have turned into musts, but when Baba comes, they become completely normal. No sooner Baba leaves than they revert again to that state. I am really unfortunate that no experience has been given to me. Don't worry, Bao, Deshmukh reassured him. You are a member of the Mandali, and Baba will surely bestow his blessings on you one day. Bao took Deshmukh inside their bungalow. Erich, Nilu, Pendu, and Vishnu were in one of the rooms. Erich was lying down and had covered himself from head to foot with a blanket. Pendu was smoking 2 cigarettes at once. Nilu was sitting before a heap of rubbish he had piled in front of himself. Vishnu was leaning his head on a bundle of cloth with a dazed expression. No one spoke to Deshmukh. He tried to remove Erich's blanket, but Erich snatched it away and pretended to sleep. Pendu was crawling on the ground. When Deshmukh tried to draw his attention, Pendu pounced on him, growling in anger. Deshmukh was frightened and left in a hurry. Coming out, he encountered Don, who had tied tree branches around his waist and strapped 2 sickles to his hips for cutting grass. He was chewing an unlit cigar, and Deshmukh was convinced that he and the others had become musts. When Deshmukh was being served refreshments, Pendu ran out to grab them away. Deshmukh escaped with his plate intact and told Bao, everyone except Pendu seems to be like Jamali musts. Pendu has become Jalali. They have been like this for 2 days now, Bao informed him, and I have to look after them. Baba came to the Mandali's bungalow, and all sat before him as usual. No one had breathed a word of their joke to Baba. He asked Deshmukh, did the Mandali talk with you? No, Baba, Deshmukh started to say. But Baba interrupted, gesturing. Don't think about it. They are not normal. I am speaking with you. What more do you want? The Mandali were afraid that when Deshmukh told Baba, he would be displeased. But when Baba assured Deshmukh that they were not normal, they relaxed. Deshmukh took this to be Baba's confirmation and now firmly believed that the men had turned into musts. Baba began conversing with Deshmukh, who mentioned his wife, um, Indumati.
Indumati.
Baba, I just couldn't find the space. Baba signaled to bow. When he takes her name, stick him with a pin. Baba then asked Deshmukh, what were you saying? Nothing, Baba, he said. Bao has a pin in his hand, otherwise I would have told you. If you get pricked for Indu's sake, what harm is there? Tell me what you were going to say. Deshmukh began laughing. He was really Baba's playmate, and Baba would always tease and have a humorous time with him. Later, Baba told Bao, shout loudly for Indupati, Indu's husband, to come. Bao shouted, and Deshmukh came running. What did Bao call you? Baba asked him. I'm afraid of his pin, Deshmukh said. I cannot tell you. This again made Baba laugh. People in the area were eager to hear about Meher Baba, and public lectures were arranged at Dehradun, Chahapur, and Raipur. Baba sent Deshmukh and Bao to deliver the talks. A gathering of 5,000 was present at Raipur when the microphone went dead. Deshmukh expressed his inability to deliver his speech without it, but Bao spoke, and in Deshmukh's place, Bal Kisan stood up to speak. He had a powerful, ringing voice and began, brothers and sisters, Jai Baba, you all know what I'm going to say, so what's the use in saying it? All right, Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. The audience laughed at this short speech, quote unquote. Bal Kisan and his wife, Meher Kanta, had begun helping in Baba's cause, and they played a major role in his work in the area. Deshmukh stayed in Dehradun for about 10 days, and the Mandali kept up their charade for the entire time he was there. Deshmukh had absolutely no idea the Mandali were only pretending, and he returned to Nagpur convinced they had really become musts. Baba also called Keshav Nigam, Bukhar, and Gaya Prasad Kare to Dehradun and talked with them about his future darshan programs in Hamapur. Keshav was touring the district, speaking about Baba, and people were eager to have Meher Baba's darshan. After meeting them, Baba sent Pukar and Gaya Prasad back to Hamapur immediately, permitting Keshav to stay on for 5 days, during which time he translated the highest of the high message into Hindi. Many people would come for Baba's darshan in Dehradun, but because it had been stopped, they would return disappointed. The disappointed, however, increased their longing, and they thirsted more and more for sight of the divine incarnation living in their midst. Kishan Singh and others pleaded their case to Baba, saying how tragic it was that the public was aware of his stay in the city but was deprived of his contact. At last, Baba gave in and agreed to give darshan. Age witnessed the glowing sun of his loving smile rise in Dehradun on Sunday, 1st November 1953. A large tent had been erected by Harichand Kochar opposite the Mandali's bungalow, and Pendu made all the arrangements for the program. Prakashwati, Meher Kanta, and Frani Nalavala decorated the hall in the Mandali's bungalow, and the bungalow and grounds looked resplendent. For the public darshan, Baba dictated 2 messages, which were printed and distributed by Bao and Krishna near the gates of the bungalow as soon as people arrived. A crowd began collecting from early morning, awaiting the arrival of Meher Prabhu. Bhajans were sung by Mangal Sai throughout the day in the tent. Before Baba arrived, Strict instructions were given not to touch his feet, not to bow to him or offer namaskars, and not to ask for material help or request interviews. One of the messages distributed was about having real darshan. And it said, I am happy to be in your midst. In the love of some of my lovers that has drawn you all together today to have my darshan. It is the love of some of my lovers that has drawn you. But to have my real darshan is not easy. To see me at close quarters, to do obeisance to me, to offer me fruits and flowers. There's a loud barking here. Maybe you want to take over for a while.
Oh, we're not hearing it.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, your mic is not picking up the barking.
To see me at close quarters, okay. To bow down to me, to return to your homes, and then to return to your homes, can never mean that you have had my darshan. Having seen me with your eyes, you have still not seen me as I am. You have not had even a glimpse of my true being, in spite of your having gone through the convention of so-called darshan. To have my real darshan is to find me, and the only and sure way to find your abode in me is to love me as I love you. You must become the recipient of my grace. Only my grace can bestow the gift of divine love. To receive my grace, you must obey me wholeheartedly with the firm foundation of unshakable faith in me. And you can only obey me spontaneously, as I want, when you completely surrender yourselves to me, so that my wish becomes your law and my love sustains your being. Age after age, many aspire for such a surrender, but only very few really attempt to surrender themselves to me completely as I want. He who succeeds ultimately not only finds me, but becomes me and realizes the aim of life. My being in your midst today would serve its purpose even if one from this multitude has understood what I want you all to know. I give my blessings to you all. Age surveyed the wondrous scene in Dehradun, and this is what it saw. At 7:30 a.m., Baba left his bungalow, headed toward the Mandalis. He looked resplendent in his white sadra and pink coat, his hair combed back into a braid hidden under the collar of his coat. His smile diffused rays of joy. His glowing features were like the shining sun. The beauty of his eyes, from which flowed a steady stream of wine, glistened for everyone to see. Kishan Singh held an umbrella over Baba's head, and his eldest son, Madan Lala Arora, walked ahead with a camera, filming the event. The atmosphere was surcharged with expectancy. Loud cries of Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai rent the air as Baba walked toward the canopy. A few of the Mandali watched to make certain no one went near Baba, and the women lovers of Dehradun kept the women in the darshan crowd at bay.
Thanks, Marvin. Meher Kiran, are you able to read? Or are you on duty?
No.
Okay, thanks. Pia, could you unmute and continue reading then?
Yeah, Jai Baba. Raising
Yay,
his hand,
Baba.
raising his hand, Baba signaled patience to all and went straight to the hall. There he met some lovers from Delhi, and the people outside grew more excited. Prakashvati and Balkisan performed kirtans with all their heart, and the entire surroundings were suffused and drenched with love. 2 long rows of men and women formed separately. Darshan began, and Baba distributed prasad. But no one had the luck to be near him for long, though the urge to stand and look at him was intense. One clever woman stood before Baba and offered a prayer from the Guru Granth Sahib, that is the Sikhs' holy book. This gave her an opportunity to be in his presence a little longer. Another woman started praying in front of Baba, and then other women tried to do the same. Standing on the dais, Sardar Virinder Singh, a sub-inspector in the police force, gave a speech, and afterwards Baba kissed him. Erich read the alphabet board as Baba dictated. I'm very happy with you. Try to find me within yourselves. Let me know how to do so, the officer requested. Think of me as much as possible. It is the only way, Baba told him. While Sardar V. Singh heard Baba's message through Erich, others were waiting to take darshan, and the crowd had thickened. Singh again stood in the queue. Others also began standing in line again for darshan. During the darshan, Baba alternated between inside the hall and the tent. At one point, Baba entered the tent to give his darshan to those gathered outside. When he left the tent for the hall to continue distribution of prasad, people continued to line up for his darshan. Although they could not see him, they shouted, Avatar Meher Baba ki jai! Avatar Meher Baba ki jai! Baba heard the cry of their hearts, but he was purposely playing hide and seek with them. At times he sat in the tent, and at times darshan continued in the hall. Flowers, garlands, and fruits lay in heaps before him, which Pendu, Erich, and Nilu strove to remove. Pendu informed Baba about the great multitude outside still awaiting darshan. Baba just smiled. Some sang bhajans to him, some prayed. In the afternoon, the principal of the Nanhi Dunya institution, Lake Raj Ulfat, came with the deaf and dumb children of the school. They brought a tremendous garland and crown for Baba. The children put the crown on Baba's head, and he looked like Krishna. Baba kissed one child, caressed another, and was quite at ease with the little ones. He dictated this message to the children. God does not need ceremonies and shows. He wants love. Our love should be so supreme that when our heart loves God, even our mind should not be aware of it. The program continued from 8 to 11 a.m. and again from 1 to 6 p.m. Dehradun was truly blessed. Another message from Baba given to the public that day was titled, Playing with Illusions. I appreciate the faith which has brought you here. I also appreciate your love and devotion. It has made me very happy. I know and understand your difficulties and problems, sufferings and expectations. Not only individuals, but the whole world is in the throes of suffering. When suffering comes, it comes according to the divinely established law of karma. It must then be accepted with grace and fortitude. But it must be remembered that your actions are the cause of much of your suffering. Through wise action, suffering can be minimized. What humanity needs is spiritual wisdom. For this, it must inevitably turn to the perfect masters and avatar. Suffering comes through ignorance or attachment to illusions. Most people play with illusions like children play with toys. If you get caught up in the ephemeral things of this world and cling to illusory values, suffering is inevitable. It is not easy for little children to give up their toys, for they become the victims of a habit which they cannot undo. In the same way, through millions of lives, You have got into the habit of playing with illusions. It is difficult for you to get disentangled from them. For ages and ages, the Atma, soul, has been seeing its own shadow and getting engrossed in the illusory world of forms. It gets addicted to the spectacle of its own creation and desires to see it through cycles and cycles of creation. When the soul turns inward and longs to have self-knowledge, it has become spiritually minded. But even there, this habit of wanting to see some spectacle persists for several lives. The soul wants to experience some miracles or spectacular phenomena, or in the more advanced stages, it wants to perform miracles and manipulate phenomena. Even spiritually advanced persons find it difficult to outgrow this habit of playing with illusions. Persistent attachment to miracles is only a further continuation of the habit of playing with illusions. It is not miracles but understanding that can bring you to it is not miracles but understanding which can bring you true freedom. If you have firm faith and unfaltering love for the God-man, your way to the abiding truth is clear and safe. Then you have no time to waste in playing with things that do not matter. Be guided by love and truth. This is the simple way that leads to God. Not by endless maneuvering of alluring illusions, but by loyalty to the unchangeable truth can you hope to be established in abiding peace. When I speak, it will be only one divine word, but it will be the word of words or the manifestation of truth. This word will have to be hearkened to by the heart and not merely by the mind. It will go home to you and bring you the awakening, my love and blessings. Baba had not called Vasdeo Kane, his wife Prabhu, and others from Delhi, such as Dhar, Ganju, Harijwan Lal, his daughter Anguri, and son Sugandh. That morning, when he met those from Delhi, he chided them. Why did you come without my invitation? This is a lesson to me not to give darshan, as you people are always on my chest. Kane pleaded, when will you come to Delhi, Baba, as you promised to come before the end of the year? Had you people not come here, I would surely have come. And besides, if you take me to be what I am, I'm already there. The retired police officer Sardar V. Singh had come to see Baba a few days before. During the darshan function, he remained fully occupied in looking after arrangements from morning until evening. Baba would frequently call him during the day on one pretext or another. Have you had your food? He would say, did you drink tea? Baba felt happy with him and would direct the mandli to call the new Daulat Singh, since his deep love reminded Baba of another Sardarji, Dr. Daulat Singh. Sardar V. Singh's whole family became devoted to Baba and would often come to him. Many people said that they felt that they had met Meher Baba before. When asked, Baba replied, many in the multitude have previous connection with me from their past lives. All are drops in the same ocean and can never leave the ocean. Most of the visitors have already met me in their past lives and have been meeting me for ages. They are old friends in new guises. As an example, turning to Kumar, Baba revealed, in one of your past lives, Helen was your uncle. At 2:25 p.m., Baba spelled on the alphabet board for one of the persons at the darshan. God is equally within us all, and we must love him and realize him. Then all our suffering comes to an end. For that experience, we must love him, and this love must be expressed in every walk of life. But it is most expressed when we give happiness to others at the cost of our own happiness. An hour later, he said to another person, God is the only one worth living for and dying for. If we love him intensely, honestly, without the least hypocrisy, we find him in ourselves and in everyone. The least trace of hypocrisy keeps him away from us. When we find him, we become eternal possessors of infinite bliss. We then see him everywhere as ourselves. People of all religions and communities poured in for Baba's darshan, including the poorest and the richest of the town. During the darshan, Baba dictated this message. Rich or poor, great or small, man or woman, everyone is under the spell of some sort of suffering. The relief for every kind of suffering is within ourselves. If we try to live honestly, act honestly, think honestly, in every walk of life, in all circumstances, we try to put our wholehearted faith in God, that relief is found. We are already the possessors of infinite power and infinite happiness. But it is the way of life that keeps us from enjoying these eternal treasures of God. I give you my blessings for that love, to love God as he ought to be loved. Keki Nalawala was busy selling literature about Baba outside and wished he too could appear in the film being taken of Baba. But since he had his duty to fulfill, he remained steadfast and did not attend the program. Suddenly, Baba called him and instructed Madan, who was filming the scene, take our picture together. Keki was tremendously gratified and knew Baba had not forgotten him. Another large darshan program was arranged 2 days later. Kumar's friend Brahmadatt lived 25 miles from Dehradun in the town of Chuharpur. He beseeched Baba to give darshan there, and Baba agreed. Bhau and Deshmukh had already spoken there, and the people of the place were eagerly looking forward to meeting Baba. Brahmadatt completed all the arrangements, and the program was held in a dharamshala. Baba arrived in Chuharpur by car on Tuesday, 3rd November 1953 at about 2:30 p.m. with some of the Mandali. Others had gone in advance by bus. He was vociferously hailed by the gathering of almost 2,000 that had assembled. During the darshan, Baba dictated the following message. We should dictate our life to God or the perfect masters. This means that we should dedicate our happiness and sufferings, our virtues and vices, our strengths and weaknesses. By sincerely dedicating our life, we become free, and God or the perfect masters takes over our responsibility. Throughout eternity, the message of God has always been and will always be of love. And this love can only be true in love for God. Love for God, can be expressed individually through devotion, intense prayers, renunciation, meditation, intense longing for his union, and by surrender to the God-man. It can also be expressed through action, by service to others and giving happiness to others at all cost. Without his love, life is not worth living. One who passes through innumerable lives without this love for God has futilely lived the false life. Baba concluded, I give you all my blessings and hope my being among you today will influence some souls to try and attain this love for God. After the message was translated into Hindi and read out, Baba began distributing prasad. An accountant in a local bank named Keval Singh asked Baba, what is the easiest way to reach God? Love God so much that you forget yourself, replied Baba. The darshan lasted until 4 o'clock that afternoon. After embracing Brahmadatta, Baba visited his house and then returned to Dehradun with the Mandale. Meanwhile, devotees in Kovur, Andhra wished to start a center there in Meher Baba's name, for which he gave his approval. In a letter dated 15th November, he sent them a message about making him their constant companion. Make me your constant companion. Think of me more than you think of your own self. The more you think of me, the more you will realize my love for you. Your duty is to keep me constantly with you throughout your thoughts, speech, and actions. They do their duty who, sincere in their faith and love, surrender to me, guided by the implicit belief in my divinity as Baba. They, too, do their duty who speak ill of me and condemn me through their writings, urged by their genuine conviction that Baba is a fraud. But they are hypocrites who, not knowing their own minds, are constantly doubting. They are at times, through false emotions, inclined to believe in me, and at times to indulge in slanderous gossip against me. No amount of slander can ever affect or change me, nor any amount of admiration and praise enhance or glorify my divinity. Baba added, Baba is what he is. I was Baba, I am Baba, and shall forever more remain Baba. My blessings to you all. Later in a telegram, he stated, the Lord of love is the slave of his lovers and devoted to his devotees. This is my message to the world on behalf of the Andhra Meher Center of Kovur. Meanwhile, Vasdeo Kane invited Baba to Delhi to see an unusual cricket match between the members of parliament and the Prime Minister's team. On Wednesday, 18th November 1953, Baba went from Dehradun accompanied by Erich, Pendu, Neelu, Kishan Singh, Kumar, and Helen to watch the match. Meherji and Nariman had also been called from Bombay to see it. On the way to Delhi, Baba stopped and visited Meenu Desai in Meerut. In Delhi, they stayed at Kane's house, 16 President's Estate. When Baba and the Mandli went to the National Stadium to watch the cricket match the following day, Baba wore a black felt hat and sunglasses so that no one would recognize him. The mandali would also surround him so that no one could see him too clearly. But despite this, spectators gazed at him throughout the game. The Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, saw Baba from a distance and continued to look at him now and then while conversing with his associates. The stadium was full, Meherji recalled. Ministers, parliamentarians, the President and Prime Minister of India were playing. Members of the diplomatic corps, business people, all types of humanity were there. Baba's purpose was to contact all these people. In Bombay, in particular, were foreign teams like the West Indies, the English, the Australian teams were. Oh, sorry. In Bombay, in particular, when foreign teams like the West Indies, the English or Australian teams were playing, the stadium was always fully crowded for test matches. Baba used to sit in the galleries with the thousands of people there. Sometimes Baba used to go and see the test match incognito, in a suit wearing a hat. Still, some people would recognize him. When we would be watching the match, Baba's mind was somewhere else. His fingers were working and he was looking somewhere at something. He had explained that his purpose in going to the matches was not just to see the game. He said that at that time, when 30 to 40,000 people were gathered there, their concentration would be on the game. He said that he took advantage of the concentration of all those thousands and did his work in mass contact.
The side note, sorry, the side note says from a talk by Meherji Karkaria, 10 March 1970, Mayor Center, Myrtle Beach. End of side note.
On Friday, 20 November 1953, Baba visited the mausoleum shrine of Nizamuddin, one of the most celebrated Sufi saints in India. Footnote.
Nizamuddin, 1236 to 1325, was the author of the celebrated Persian translations of the tales of Bidpai and of the Sanskrit Panchatantra. End of note.
Can you repeat this? It wasn't clear.
Oh, I'd be delighted to, yeah. Nizamuddin, who lived from 1236 to 1325, was the author of the celebrated Persian translations of the tales of Bidpai, Bidpai, and of the Sanskrit Panchatantra.
He also paid his respects at a few other places in Delhi, accompanied by Kane and Keki Desai. While returning to Kane's house, Baba instructed both, henceforth never visit any religious place, temple, church or mosque, or go to any sadhu, saint or wali. Baba did not wish to see anyone during his 4-day stay in Delhi. But when those of his close ones expressed their anxiousness to meet him, he agreed to see them for 5 minutes on the last day of his visit. And so on the 21st, a few of Baba's close lovers gathered at Kane's home at 2:30 p.m. Footnote.
Those who attended included Principal Niranjan Singh and his wife, Professor Joginder Singh and his wife, Lala Telram, Harjiwan Lal and family, Dar, Ganju, Hakumat Rai, Trilok Singh, Sahaj Singh, Wing Commander Dadi Mehta, Mohan Lal Sharma, the husband of Wadi, and Kusum Mokam Singh. End of side note.
It was a light-hearted occasion. Baba first asked each about his health and joked back and forth with each one. Principal Niranjan Singh of Camp College requested that Baba give a special message for students, and Baba replied in a joking manner. When I was in the toilet this morning, I thought of you and felt certain you would ask for a message. So in accordance with your scientific mind, I dictated a message and another one also. Baba directed Erich to read out the message, material and spiritual science, that I repeat this. Baba directed Erich to read out the message, quotes, material and spiritual science, unquote, that he had dictated at 7:45 a.m. Just as God is infinite, imagination is also infinite. And all that has come out of imagination, which is called the shadow of God, and that imagination is also infinite. We can imagine anything and everything ad infinitum. Science, as is understood today, deals with energy and matter. This material science is in the domain of the mind. There is also spiritual science, which deals with the beyond mind state. Material science and spiritual science both yield proofs and demonstrations. Material science brings results through intellect, spiritual science through love. When love is experienced fully, the source of the spiritual science, God the infinite, is realized, and then all else is found to be just illusionary phenomena. Spiritual science, being based on love alone and being beyond the systematic mental understanding, is full of apparent ups and downs and contradictions and vagaries, which love alone can face and overcome. This is because material science enhances the ego life, whereas spiritual science annihilates it. Erich then read out the message, quote, internal conviction, unquote, dictated at 9:30 a.m. that morning. There are two kinds of experiences, one external and one internal. The external experience can be had by gross means. What we actually see of the gross world and the gross eyes gives us a sort of conviction, but at times even this conviction is based on false analysis. Just as when we happen to see a man drinking milk in a bottle under a toddy tree, we feel convinced, having seen this, that he must be drinking toddy, which is false. But what is seen with the inner eye gives absolute and definite conviction, which can never fail and be false. Let's just repeat this. What is seen with the inner eye gives absolute and definite conviction, which can never fail and be false. When one actually sees God with the inner eye as the omnipresent existence, he then only needs to become that infinite existence himself. So, What is actually needed is not mere theorizing and reasoning, but actual experience, which would give eternal conviction. And this can be had only through love. After these messages were read, Baba told Niranjan Singh, the thing is, we try to understand those things through the mind, which we can only understand when there is no mind. You yourself are your own veil. When you become invisible, God becomes visible. But this requires experience, and to gain that experience, grace is necessary. It is useless to try to grasp things through the mind, which cannot be understood. Niranjan Singh pleaded, so long as I cannot stay with you for at least a week, my thirst will not be quenched. Smiling, Baba replied, I do not extinguish thirst, I increase it. To increase your thirst, when do you want to stay with me for 7 days? The college is closed in April. We will see, Baba quipped. April bahut dur hai, is far off.
Thank you, Pia. We'll pick up next